I'm always pleased to welcome our next guest. This is Jason Stuart, and he's a good friend of mine, and he's a fantastic actor and comedian, and he's got a wonderful show coming up called We're Not Dead Yet. Welcome back to the show. Now, first, I want to address something.
What?
You look fantastic. You're like the incredible shrinking man.
Thank you.
What are you doing?
I went to this Oscar party, and Viola Davis was there, and I got to meet her. I was like, I was crazy, you know, because she's like my spirit animal. I mean, and I read her book, and I felt like I knew way too much about her. And I went to this gifting suite, and there was a thing called mindful weight loss. And they asked me to go on these shots and do these videos for them. And I did it. I've lost 25, 30 pounds.
You look terrific.
Thank you.
That's a lot of weight. I know that they kind of recruited you to do a little work with them once they saw how successful you were.
No, we did it from the beginning.
Oh, from the very beginning.
And I think it's a great program. And if anybody wants to do it and they're having trouble, I've had it myself. I never got, COVID. I just kept going down to my mother's apartment because she lives downstairs. Hashtag I don't live with my mother. She lives next door. And I would go down to her apartment. It was almost like there was a 7-Eleven there.
All right, tell me about the show coming up.
It's called
this Saturday.
Yeah, it's called We're Not Dead Yet because I wanted to do a show about people over 40 or 50. It's all stand-up comedy. We have this incredibly beautiful opening act, Irina, all the way from Ukraine. We have Dana Eagle, who's a lesbian, who's so funny and so depressed. It just will make you laugh your head off. And then there's me again, and I'm the headliner. Yeah, and it's going to be at the Revolution Stage Company, which is this beautiful new theater right near the Revivals, and it's at 8 o'clock on the 28th.
All right. So you've got all these great people, then you're headlining the show.
Yes. And what's funny is people keep saying, why did you move to Palm Springs? Why did you move here? They keep asking me that all the time. And I said, well, I was in Hollywood. I was looking for a parking spot, and I just kept driving. And I found one everywhere. And in that parking lot, it's free at the Revolution Stage Company. And the 28th, Saturday, please come. And you've been threatening to come to my show for years.
I have been.
Bring your fake wife and come. Bring your fake wife. See if your fake wife is available.
My fake wife would love your show.
Yeah,
I know she would.
Yeah, I want to see if she's real.
You've already mentioned your mom, but I always like to ask how your mom is doing.
She is doing great. There's this new thing now. She has this 24-hour clothes. She just wears the same clothes. She puts a belt on. She goes to Michael's. She goes to Ralph's. She puts a scarf on. She comes home. She sleeps, and she's in her chair. I said, Mom, don't you wash up? She says, of course I do. What, do you change your underwear? She said, well, sometimes I'm in my chair, and I'm just too tired, so I just cut them off. She cuts off the underwear. And I use it for a schmata so the girl can clean up.
I know you don't live with your mother, you live next door.
Hashtag I do not live with my mother, I live next door, yes.
But you get great material from that.
I love my mom. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. And the last thing is I did a special last year called Laugh Proud with a bunch of LGBTQ comedians. It's on Tubi and Amazon right now. And it's every color of the rainbow. I mean, every kind of person. They're gay, they're straight, they're bi, they're trans, they're on a shelf, they're in a jar. They're bi, and I don't know, they're liquid, fluid. You're pouring it into one thing through another. They got a dress. There's a pair of combat boots, and I think to myself, God, if I would have been like that when I was a kid, I would have had self-esteem. I mean, they were all so comfortable with who they are. And one kid had no idea who I was.
Yeah, we've talked about this. You were on my podcast. We talked about this. Yeah. But it's really great that you're working with these folks, and it is a different kind of era in Hollywood.
It was wonderful, and one of the kids didn't know who I was, and I said, he said, have you ever done stand-up? I said, only around 3 times. And then I went up and I did stand-up, and he went, oh my God. And somebody said, don't you know who this guy is? And I thought that made me feel so good.
All right, that's on Tubi and what else?
Tubi and Amazon.
Tubi and Amazon. All right, but the show is at the Revolution Stage Company. Go to revolutionstagecompany.com to get your tickets. It's going to be a fantastic show. It's this Saturday.
And you're coming, and people will get to meet you.
I have to check with my fake wife. But I would love to come because you're just hilarious sitting here on the set.
And you're going to wear one of your, will you wear a suit? Because I think you were like, you popped out of your mother, with that suit on. Did you not?
I always dress up, yeah.
And that's a Star Trek thing?
It is, yeah.
You're scaring me. Okay, come to the show.
All right.
Come to the show.
And live long and prosper.
I don't care. We're not dead yet.